I am trying to see what the best way to do this is. Click to enlarge. I want to be able to see all the comments over there. Okay, yay, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, there's a bit of a delay. Marcus Stone, good morning. Max and Laura, Michelle, John Rothens. Oh my God, I have missed you guys and gals. Terry, how are you? Natalie Phillips, Michelle McLean, Liza Borges, Janelle, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the inaugural best year ever, best 365. Because you know what, when you think about the best year, you think you have to start January 1st. And I'm saying you can start the next 365 days today. And that's going to start with my fabulous guest today, Melissa Burrow, the author of Chasing Bentleys. And I'm trying to figure out here. Hello, Melissa. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
Well, I'd be better if I could figure out how to split the screen so you and I could both be on at the same time. Hold on a second here. Oh, gosh. Okay. Let's see. Settings. Continue watching while using Facebook. Let's go settings. Okay, more video settings. If anybody out there can tell me how to split the screen so I could have Melissa's beautiful face on at the same time, that would be amazing. All right, Melissa, first of all and foremost, congratulations on your new book, Chasing Bentleys. I mean, oh my gosh, the power of accountability in achieving your goals. I cannot even tell you how much I loved this book. And I've got so many notes and so many things to talk to you about. But guys and gals out there, before we get started, so that we can honor your time and we can honor Melissa's commitment to coming on this morning, will you share this out? I think everybody needs to hear Melissa's message this morning when we talk about the power of accountability. We're going to talk about her new book, Chasing Bentleys, and just see what Melissa's been up to. So share it out. Sharing is caring, people. Sharing is caring. Okay, Melissa, I just want to jump right into it. I can figure out how to split screen you. This is making me a little crazy right now. That's a Glenn Lundy question. That's why I don't do interviews. Oh my gosh, Marcus. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the book that almost didn't happen.
Yeah. So the book legitimately almost didn't happen. So what happened is I wrote this book about a year and a half ago. I sat on the book for months and months, made some changes, was finally ready to put it out into the world. And I hired an editor to edit the book to get it ready for sale, to start shopping to publishing houses or to self-publish. And you know, Lisa, I mean, I had a really terrible experience. So I had to learn to pivot. I was pretty devastated. I hired someone. I trusted him with my book. I expected him to do a really good job on my book. And what happened is the book didn't get edited. The book sat, and, you know, 3 months went by, 6 months went by. And then finally, I reached out to you with my frustrations just for some advice on what, you know, next step I should take. And that's when you introduced me to your fabulous editor and now mine, Elizabeth Lyons. So she did a phenomenal job. It was a night and day difference between working with a professional editor who had published her own books, that had her own publishing house, that was incredibly, I mean, for lack of a better word, she's just very, very professional. And she is 100% responsible, I feel, for the success of my book. I had great content. But what she does is she goes in and she'll edit it, and she'll also format for flow. So it's so important as an author to realize that the way you read your book when you write it is not the way that your readers are going to read your book. So when people go in to read the book, you can't have their perspective. No matter how hard you try to put yourself in their position, an editor can actually look at it from their standpoint. So I was really happy with the results.
Yeah, no, Elizabeth is absolutely fantastic. And it's funny because somebody who writes a book about accountability and then to almost have it not published because, you know, it was sitting in the wrong hands, right?
Right. So, I mean, I knew I needed to get another editor. And it was just a matter of trusting my content. So, you know, Lisa, you've written several books, several fantastic books. But when you work really hard on your content and you spend a long time on it, you're nervous about just trusting that content with anyone. Plus, if you have a bad experience, then you're even more nervous. So Yeah,
Well,
you have to take massive action. But yeah, I was a little hesitant to share my content with anyone else after my experience.
Well, I want to jump into this amazing book. You know, the reason I decided to relaunch this show is because I want everyone to have your best ever, your best 365 ever. And that starts today. Like, you know, we talk about, you know, it's a new year and 2020 is coming. And now all of a sudden, you know, we're going to do things differently January 1st. Well, why don't we start today doing things differently on September 16th? Right? On September 16th. And that's why I wanted you to be the inaugural guest. And so I read your book this weekend. Wow, wow, and wow. I cannot say enough about this book. And so I want to jump right in. And, you know, it's something that I made myself a lot of notes, but something that you talk about in the beginning of the book is that you've got to advocate for yourself, right? And fear and low accountability will always hold you back. Talk to us about advocating for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're able to let go of fear and actually take accountability, you become responsible for your own actions and for your own future. Especially in male-dominated industries and industries where you're gonna have to step up to the plate and ask for things that you want. You have to advocate for yourself. And what I mean by advocating for yourself is if there's a position that you want, if there is an opportunity to work on a project, if there is something that you know in your heart that you're capable of that you don't have the opportunity to do right now, you cannot wait for someone to step up to the plate and notice your hard work or notice your drive or notice that you have a passion for that topic. You have to take action steps to make that happen. You can't depend on anyone else to set your future for you. Part of accountability is embracing the fact that you have to be accountable for your own actions and you have to take steps to make those actions happen. So many people, oh, go ahead, Lisa.
Oh, no, so, but what do you mean when you talk about your own version of happiness? You know, I really liked that because it's like what makes me happy doesn't necessarily make you happy. And I think in this world, this crazy play world of social media, it's like, oh, look at my dinner last night. My husband's the greatest, blah, 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 right? And
Yeah.
so, and I think that if we don't feel like that we measure up to your happiness or your level of anything, then all of a sudden now we're a failure. And I mean, I see so many things with suicide on the rise and all the things that are happy. And if people would just understand what is your version of happiness. So how did you come up with that?
Right. You're breaking up just a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I can go right into it. So it's so important to realize that everyone has a different version of happiness. That's why you can't compare your life to anyone else's. What makes you happy isn't going to be what makes someone else happy. So when you have these standards that you're holding yourself accountable to that are unrealistic standards because they're based on someone else's version of happiness, not on your version of happiness, you're setting yourself up for failure. And I mean, that's self-sabotaging, which a lot of people practice that and don't realize they are, but that's just because of things they're carrying over from their past. But your own version of happiness can't be what anyone else's is. So whatever you see online, whatever you're modeling your life after, stop, decide and create a plan around what's going to make you happy as a person and quit comparing yourself to other people. There's only one you. Can't be anyone else.
Right. And don't you think that, you know, we go through, you know, there's these people out there, the influencers, the Kim Kardashian, it's like, I want to be you. I want to look like you. I want to act like you. And I think that is like the lie of social media. And that is the lie of what goes on in the world today is that the world wants us to be a different version of us, right? Versus us being us. And so, you know, your first step, the first thing you say about accountability, and I thought this was beautiful, is the fact that the first thing is gratitude, right? So talk to us about gratitude.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to. So there's making gratitude list and having gratitude, and then there's practicing gratitude. They're two distinctly different things. So practicing gratitude is an act of accountability. You can make gratitude list. You can have gratitude for what you have in your life, which is being thankful for your health, for the health of your spouse or the health of your children, for the physical things that you've been given in this world that you've worked really hard for. That's having gratitude. Practicing gratitude is incorporating gratitude and action steps around your gratitude into your daily life. So that's when you do things for the greater good. It's taking action on your gratitude and not just having the gratitude. And
Okay,
that's
so,
part
so
of
give us an
accountability.
example. Give me an example. Okay, so I am grateful for the fact that I've got wonderful friends. How do I take action on that?
How you can take action on that is you have to let your friends know that you're grateful for them and show them that you're grateful. So action always speaks louder than words. And part of accountability is realizing that regardless of how you feel and what your emotional state is about a situation or about a person or about a thing, whatever it is taking that emotion and putting it into action. Being accountable for the fact that you can't just feel this way. You have to take action on the way that you feel. So in the example that you gave me with your friends, one way to actually practice gratitude would be to, send one of your friends a small gift in the mail. Don't tell them you're sending it, but just send it to them with a little thank you note. Thank you so much for being a friend. I just want you to know I appreciate you. That would be practicing gratitude instead of just having gratitude.
No, and I love that. I got a card in the mail last week from a friend of mine, just kind of out of the blue, and she's been
Yeah.
following some of the stuff I'm doing, and basically the card just said, "I'm really proud of you," and
Oh,
and it meant so much to me,
yeah.
and but it was out of the blue. I didn't expect it, and I think that's where it gets really great sometimes when you get into gratitude, and just like you said, sending that note to a friend, the random acts of kindness that people don't expect. And it's just as simple, Melissa, as a handwritten note to a friend,
Right. Yeah, I
just saying,
agree.
"Hey,
It's
I'm
really
rooting for
simple.
you."
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything to practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude should become part of your lifestyle or should become part of a habit, which I talked about on my show last week. But you have to incorporate that into your life to truly become an accountable person. There's all different types of or all different schools of thought on accountability, but when it really boils down to it, when someone says, "Well, Melissa, what is accountability?" or when one of my coaching clients asks me, I tell them it's action. It's action. It's being accountable for your choices and taking action.
So how do you get past though, and I'm going off track from my notes because that's what I do. But how do you get past the fear of taking action? I agree. I could not agree with you more that accountability is taking action. But what I find when I'm working with clients or with businesses, it's fear. Fear keeps people from moving forward. It keeps them paralyzed. So how do we become more accountable, and how do we move out of our own way?
Well, fear is a big one. So the only way you can move out of your way, or as you like to say, hashtag do it scared, is you have to let go of your past. So your past will absolutely limit you and keep you in the space of fear until you let go of the past and you're living in the moment and you're being mindful and you're planning for your future. You're going to have fear in your life. And even when you get rid of the past, we're all going to at times be anxious or have a little bit of fear, but it's channeling that fear and realizing that that emotion is rooted in the past and changing that emotion from fear to excitement. It's mindful word selection. It is affirmations. It's telling yourself when your adrenaline's pumping and you're feeling the emotions and the biological reaction of fear, that it's really excitement. It's excitement about the unknown. You just have to reprogram your brain into realizing that that's a biological reaction, and you're going to change the way that you're going to process that biological reaction. It's just training your brain.
Okay, so someone out there's listening and they're like, "Okay, this makes a lot of sense, and I like what she's saying, but how do I retrain my brain? How do you do that?"
Okay, so it's
Girl,
not
you
as
knew I was going to
easy.
dig in.
Right. No, it's not as easy as people think. And it's, people are going to hear this and say, okay, well, she's saying train my brain. Okay, well, how do you do that? It takes some work. You have to put the work in. You have to everything from the way you speak and mindful word selection to positive affirmations to creating a vision board to being accountable to whatever actions you're putting in place to reach your goal. It's an entire lifestyle change. The only way you can retrain your brain is to establish new habits. And so your brain is constantly processing information all the time, 24/7. Our brains are amazing. I'm kind of a nerd. I'm obsessed with the way the brain works. But our brains are capable of so much. But one thing that our brain does that you have to be able to teach your brain not to do is your brain will look at past experiences and create emotion around those past experiences. And then anything that relates to that same past experience, that same biological reaction can occur. You have to teach your brain, and I'm getting ready to tell you how to teach your brain to not have that sort of response. So for example, let's say that you went skydiving. You were paralyzed with fear. When you went to land on the ground, you broke your ankle. 10 years goes by. You decide, you know what? I'm not scared of heights. I'm gonna get rid of this memory. It's called exposure therapy. I'm gonna do it again. This time I know I'm not gonna break my ankle. I know what to do now. I'm gonna pull my legs up. I'm gonna do what the instructor tells me to do. Your body biologically, when you get up on that plane and you're getting ready to jump, it will immerse itself in fear. At that time, it's
rightfully so.
Yes. It's an opportunity for you to take that memory, that horrible fear-based memory that you had, and now make that memory an enjoyable memory. So at that period of time, you're still going to feel it. You're going to have the biological reaction, but you need to tell yourself at that time, hey, I'm excited about this. Hey, I'm not going to get hurt doing this. I am so excited about jumping out of this plane. I know I'm feeling the fear, but this isn't really fear. This is my body and my mind relating to a past experience I had. Then you jump out of the plane, you land fine, you don't break your ankle. And guess what? That self-limitation that you had on yourself, it's gone. It's gone. And so I'm a fan of that type of school of thought, that you have to expose yourself to things that you've had negative experience with in the past to truly get rid of that type of negative biological reaction.
Okay, so you talk about the book, when you were in your 20s and 30s and kind of in your early 20s, where you suffered from panic attacks. And so was your expertise, and I would consider you an expert on accountability. Has this all stemmed from you pulling yourself out of that situation and telling yourself this is not going to happen to me? Like I read, the one part where, you had called your best friend to go to the hospital. You thought you were having a heart attack. And then the guy at the hospital's like, no, you're not having a heart attack, but you probably need to change your life because you're a little too young for all this to be happening to yourself. And so, so did you do this out of self-resilience or, self-help, or, what sets you down the path? Because, you're also an executive with a large, automotive insurance based company. And so, what gave you the passion for the accountability and really to, help others retrain their brains and move past limiting beliefs?
Right. So, that was a huge pivotal point. That one episode. So you're right. I talk about it in the book where I was actually like laying on the floor in my office, having a massive panic attack that I thought was a heart attack. And when I went to the hospital, I knew that what was happening biologically to my body was a heart attack. And when someone told me, no, it's not, I started to study really what the root of anxiety was. And I started to seek out help for how I could change that reaction. I knew that, our brains are strong. I was in my 20s and I was extremely ambitious, still am. I know how I have tools now to deal with it, but I was so ambitious. I was working, an incredible amount of hours, drinking way too much caffeine, which is a huge trigger for anyone that has anxiety. Cut down on your caffeine consumption. It'll make a huge
good
difference.
point.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure how to handle what was going on. So all I knew is that I was sleeping about 4 or 5 hours a night because I was working so much. I was so driven. I wanted to climb the ladder. I wanted to do everything I could to prove that I was a hard worker, but I wasn't taking care of myself. I had zero self-care. And so that's why I started having those type of issues. When you learn how to actually use tools to help ground yourself, what I call mindfulness is what I use, is the practice of mindfulness is where you become aware of all your senses. So when you start to feel overwhelmed, or you get the racing heart, or you start to feel anxious about a situation, you stop, you take a deep breath, you count to 10, you as you inhale through your nose, you realize, the smells that are available, you open your eyes, you concentrate on the sun, you concentrate on what's in front of you, and you just take a few minutes to dial it down a little bit. It should take you from like a 10 to an 8 if you're practicing mindfulness correctly. But that one instance set me on a path of accountability. Now, before that time, Lisa, I wasn't who I am today. I mean, I had a lot of blaming and complaining and, I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do that. I wish I would have invested in real estate. I wish I would have done this. Wish I would have done that.
I call that the woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda,
syndrome.
shoulda.
Yeah.
And I lived in that space until I started having anxiety. And so anxiety was really a blessing in disguise. It kind of saved my life because it forced me to get into personal development. And before personal development, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that I was the one that was in control of my life. I was a victim of my circumstances. When I say I don't like victim mentality, and I do the little emoji girl, anytime I hear victim mentality, it's not because I'm judgmental. It's because I was there. I had a victim mentality. I grew up in an environment of victim mentality. And now I'm like, man, if I would have just changed my perspective before, what amazing, amazing things I would have accomplished. Now, if I hadn't have gone through all that and been where I am now, I wouldn't have written the book. I wouldn't be where I am now. And I wouldn't have the passion I have to help other people. I see young people so many times living in this victim mentality space where they're a victim of their circumstances, or they're a victim of their childhood, or they're a victim of missed opportunities. And if I can help make a positive impact on their lives, or even in an adult's life, whether you're 40, you're 30, you're 50, you're 60, you can make the choice right now to not live in that place and not live in that mental environment of victim mentality where it's everyone else's fault. When you actually realize, Lisa, that it's not, that you are the one responsible for your choices.
Absolutely.
And only by the grace of God are you where you are right now. And the reason why you went through what you went through was to teach you and to educate you so that you can be on your path to greatness. That's when things really start to click and when things start to move forward and you can walk in your purpose.
No, I absolutely love that. One of the things you talk about in your book is to stop apologizing. And I think women do it more often than men. It's like, I'm sorry I'm successful. I'm sorry I'm not successful. I'm sorry this, I'm sorry that. And it's like, stop apologizing, because I think that falls into that whole category that you speak about a lot, which is that victim mentality, right? Because when you're apologizing constantly, it's you are the victim. You're the woe be me. You're the I have to apologize because other people, are putting me down. Like it's unnerving to me personally, but to your point, why I love this book so much, it's like, I'm not going to change you and you're not going to change me. The only one that can change me is me, and can change you is you. And I think once people get that mindset that, that we're in this to, it isn't, my success will be because of me. Your success will be because of you. Everybody who's tuned in today, which we've got a huge audience today, that success is because of the actions that they will take and the choices that they will make to be successful. And so, I found it interesting, that you wrote stop apologizing in there, because I haven't seen that in a long time, but that was like, I took a big note on that, like ding, 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 ding. Stop apologizing, right? Own it. Be unapologetic.
Yeah.
Now, and I only mean unapologetic. If you do something wrong, you should apologize, but you need to be unapologetically you, because the minute that you start apologizing for your success or for your actions or for your what word am I looking for? Vision or your dreams or your goals, then you have wiped away all of your power. Every piece of your power, it's gone.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think as women, it is really challenging. I don't know why. I mean, I need to do even more research around the root. I mean, I know a lot of it stems from a victim's mentality, or as women, we're naturally biologically kind of wired to be more empathetic. But at the end of the day, when you're apologizing for anything that is not centered around an action that you need to be apologizing for, if you did an action that was harmful to someone else, then you're apologizing for you. And if you're apologizing for who you are, you don't have confidence and you're not feeling good in your own skin, you should never apologize for your success. You should never apologize for being who you are. You should never apologize for being true to your inner self. You should never apologize for your faith. You should, you should be confident. You should walk in your purpose and be confident in who you are and what you want out of life. No one else is going to do it for you. So either you choose to do it, or you sit on the sidelines and you watch life pass you by, which is, to me, the saddest thing that can happen. You're not even a participant in your own life. You're letting other people live for you. And you're watching it happen. You're watching the Kardashians go to Bora Bora. You're watching all these other people do.
I will not lie. I think I actually watched that episode thinking, I wish I was in Bora Bora, but somebody has to work for a living.
but instead of watching everyone else live these amazing lives, create an action plan so that you can live the type of life you want to live. You may not want to go to Bora Bora.
Right.
Decide what is your happiness, what makes you happy, and take steps to do that. And don't worry about what everyone else in the world's doing. They don't have to live their life.
I want to be cognizant of your time, because I know you have to get Bella to school, but I'd like you to give everyone who's viewing this and everyone who's going to view it in the future. And for those of you that just jumped on, I've got Chasing Bentleys author, Melissa Burrow, my dear friend, top selling author. Her book went to #1 day one. #1 or #2, Melissa?
#1 in women in business.
Yeah, #1 in women in business. But this book is for men and for women. And two things I want to ask you about before you need to jump off. I could stay on and talk to you all day long, but #1, I understand that you have a retreat coming up, and I'd love for you to share with everybody about the retreat. And then before you leave, I want everybody who took the time to tune in this morning, to spend their morning with us, I want 3 actionable takeaways that they can use to start their best 365 ever today, right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to do the 3 actionables right now, because it is really important. And you don't have to wait. So many people wait to the first of the year. It sounds silly. Start it now. Start it right now. Start it today. Be accountable to yourself right now. Why do you need to wait? You're the one holding yourself accountable. You're the one that's responsible for your own life. So why are you waiting for society to tell you it's okay to change your life?
Absolutely, girl. What are they?
Don't wait. Okay. So #1, you have to remove your past right now. You have to let it go. In chapter 3 in my book, I talk about a lead-filled backpack. You should take it off, set it on fire. Don't unpack it. Live right now and plan for your future. Whatever happened in the past is gone. You can't change it. You can't alter it. There's nothing you can do. You can't live in it. So get rid of it. Don't even have it in the forefront of your mind. Also, you have to eliminate self-sabotaging patterns. If you buy my book, there's a whole chapter on that too. So we place so many limitations on ourselves, rooted in fear, rooted in insecurities, rooted in all these different things. And you have to stop doing that. #2, you have to take actionable steps. So when you are creating your goals and you're writing down your goals, you have to decide step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that it's going to take to get to each goal. And then you have to actually do it. You either need to hold yourself accountable, find an accountability partner, or you need to hire an accountability coach, because you can have a business coach, you can go to conferences, you can get all the great information and the tools that's available. But if you don't take action on them and implement them, then all you do is have all this knowledge that's going to waste, because you're not implementing it and using the tools. So if you can't take accountability and motivate yourself, which a lot of people can't. We have distractions everywhere. This world's full of distractions.
Well, distractions,
reach out and get help.
And fear paralyzes.
And fear. You have to do it scared, like Lisa says.
You're scared.
Right. And part of that's connecting gratitude to the greater good. So make sure that you're practicing gratitude and you're not just being grateful. Now, #3, you have to manage your time wisely. So there's so many distractions in this world. There's so many things that we have to do to manage our time, but you have to isolate your distractions. You have to create a list of importance, and you have to give yourself a break. Now, once you do those things and you actually have a win, then you have to celebrate your wins. Because if you don't celebrate the little steps you're taking to create a good habit or to achieve a greater goal, then you're not going to feel fulfilled as you move through your process. So those are the big 3 things. Remove your past, take actionable steps, and manage your time. Now to the retreat, and I know I'm rushing along, Lisa, but I have to jump off to take my daughter to school, but the Chasing Bentleys retreat. So I'm going to announce on here with Lisa, the location, which I haven't announced yet. So I'm so excited, but the Chasing Bentleys retreat is going to be January 17th through the 18th. We are going to do a mini accountability course, and we're going to be doing some fun step out of your comfort zone activities.
Oh, okay. Whoa. We're not walking or anything weird, are we? Because I think Tony
no, but we're going to go on an adventure Jeep tour, because we are going to be in the lovely Sedona, Arizona at a spa retreat. So I will have a lot more information. We are going to. Oh, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have a spiritual guide that's going to take us into the spiritual vortexes. We are going to be doing yoga and mindful meditation. We are going to cleanse ourselves to let go of our past and empower ourselves to take actionable steps as soon as we come back, to just go straight into the future and achieve our goals. So I'm really excited. I've been doing so much research on resorts, and I will have ticket information up soon. I am going to have an all-inclusive ticket price. So your hotel will be included, your food will be included during the conference, and the activities will be included. So you'll get to work with a spiritual leader. You'll get to go on an adventure Jeep tour. We're going to have so much fun. And the only thing you're going to be responsible for is your airfare, or you can drive, whatever's more comfortable for you. But Sedona, Arizona, and we are going to go and get our accountability on. So I hope everyone is able to join. Oh, it is for one only this time. I'll be doing another retreat later on that will be an elite retreat that'll be open to male and female. But this is just going to be for us women to connect and to get to know each other a lot better and to learn accountability.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well, I know that you have to take Miss Bella to school, and you had told me you had a hard stop at 7:30 a.m. and I'm going to hold you accountable, my friend.
Yes.
7:32, and I don't want that little girl to be late to school. And Melissa, thank you so much for getting up with us this morning, pouring into our tribe, pouring into people that we love that are on this. And for those of you out there, every Monday morning, I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be bringing on really amazing people, because, just like I said before, I've got unusual access to people that I feel like that I want to share with all of you, and the people that I've been working with over the last year and taking this journey as we launched Cars Her Way and all the things that we're doing. It's really been great. And I've missed every one of you so much. I could never go back to a daily show right now, but I was really convicted when we were at Ziegler's event and at Grow Your Business for God's Sake, which was Glundy's event, and just being able to spend time with some of my very dearest friends in the world. And, and they really encouraged me. So you can thank Frank Lopes and Glenn Lundy and Dan Moore and Gary Wise and several of them who really pushed me to come back at least one time a week and just really have conversations and just share the journey with you and share the amazing people. I love Melissa Burrow, and I'm so proud of her. And how did I meet her? I met her off of my original show. It's so many of you out there now be that show. And so I hope every Monday morning that you will just mark off your calendar at 7 a.m. from 7 to 7:30, 7:40, whenever we get done. I do promise to bring you value. I'm not just going to show up to talk. And I just thought there was just no better way to start off the best 365 ever, starting today. Mark it on your calendar, September 16th. Then with my dear friend, Melissa Burrow, with her best-selling book, Chasing Bentleys. I think it's unbelievable. So I hope
Lisa,
all of you
thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I know everyone, including myself, is so excited that you're back on your show. So I'm going to jump off. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Bye, Melissa.
Bye,
I actually thought that you'd already jumped off. So.
I gotta go.
All right, girl, get going. Okay, everybody, I will see you again next Monday. I can't wait. And, but do something for yourself today. Okay. Make that list of people that you want to connect with. Make that list of what you want to get accomplished by the end of this year, right? Make the list. Hold yourself accountable. Maybe some of you all can, hold each other accountable. I don't know. But at the end of the day, nobody else is going to be responsible for your success but you. So I hope you have a great week. Start thinking about it. Go out to Amazon. Melissa's book is available on Amazon, Chasing Bentleys. It's just amazing. I got pages and pages of notes. So until next Monday, I will be announcing my guest this week. I'm working on a really big one. So once I get him confirmed, then I will announce it. But have a great week. All right. And just be accountable, be fantastic, do what you need to do for you. Don't apologize, and commit to have the next 365 days to be the best ever. See you next week. Bye, y'all.